All right, how's everybody doing out there? What's happening? It's just a Thursday evening, one day left in the trading week. A trading week that's been relatively slow, to speak as far as just moves go out there in the broad market, out there with individual stocks. Small caps in particular have taken a little bit of a breather so far this week. And I just always had to refresh your guys' memories as well as mine that we should never force trades. In fact, when you look at my last YouTube video that I just posted, I mean, it's obvious, guys. I know that this is not a time to be trading like a hero, forcing trades. And if you go in there and you do something like that when the market's in this consolidation period, you're going to get absolutely smoked. Broad market contraction phase. Don't force trades. A tradable move is coming. I'm trying to tell you guys, the big money's made when we break out, not when we're in between the breakout. So stay patient. There is going to be a move. I don't know if it's going to be to the upside or the downside. I have to just sit on my hands until we finally do confirm one way or the other, And today's candle was a pretty optimistic, bullish candle. However, we weren't able to close above these highs from earlier in the week. That's on SPY, and then you'll see QQQ. We trade a little lower in the range, and we weren't even able to trade back up into the highs of this week or last week on QQQ. So we're still potentially looking at this pattern of lower highs. Everybody got shaken out. If you were a bear and you rushed in to operate on the short side, you got smoked. You got stopped out because you weren't patient. And I can speak on that because I know I've made that mistake before, too many times. I've been too eager to put on a position. But guys, it's going to be the patience pays during these types of setups. And I've got to hammer that home with you guys until you get to the point of just realizing that there's more days, live to fight another day. And so what? This week I'm like break even. I took one L on Monday. I had actually a pretty solid trade. Yesterday I caught this bounce on SPY and was able to hold for 4 or 5 points. So I'm like break even on the week, and I don't really even care. I don't care. My goal is to capitalize on opportunities when they present themselves. If they don't present themselves, my goal is to not lose money in the meantime. Sit on my hands for days, months, weeks, whatever it takes to wait for the next setup to come around. Now, this is the setup I took today. You can see it in the title of the video. I went long DDD. My plan is to risk low of day from today, which sits at about $2.95. That's a risk of roughly 14 cents in order to, potentially take $2 or $3 in this thing. My profit targets, if we are to catch a trend in this, would be $3.60, $4, and potentially hold some runners up to $5 or $6. It's a breakout trade. Is the market going to it's a breakout trade. See? Break out of this tight flag after a strong move from $2 up to $4. Price made a strong move, and then price just kind of put in these this sideways flag price action here. And I play the breakout. I bought today. I longed it. I'll risk the low a day. Have to reevaluate if we lose 15 cents. But from here, I'm looking to catch a trend. I'm looking to catch an upward rising 50 moving average and catch this 20 EMA follow the momentum of the move. How I play it, first 2 to 3 days, I'll lock in a majority of my profit if we trend. First 3 to 5 days, I'd say. I'll lock in my profit. I'm looking for an 8 to 10% move to lock in the bulk of my position. Then from there, what I like to do is I'll trail the last portion of my position with a close below this green line, which is the 20 EMA. So you can see stocks when they trend, they pull back to the 20 EMA and then they bounce, especially this one, before pushing higher. And so what I like to do here is not sell my position all out, try to be perfect with my exit. Maybe you catch a big swing and you won't know that until you hold it longer. So I'm going to hold this thing until one, it breaks below low of day yesterday, then I'm stopped out with an L. A loss of like 1% on my account, whatever. On to the next. Or it pushes hard in the next 2 to 3 days, comes up here back into the 350 or 375 range, and I take a bulk of my position off. Straight up off the table. But I keep a third or a fourth or, maybe 2/3, just depending on where we're at. And I trail it with a close below the 20 EMA, that green line. And this isn't a strategy I come up with myself, guys. This is a strategy that I've, been studying, stalking for years, these breakout patterns. Then I got it from this trader. His name is Qualamagi. So you guys can come in here to YouTube and, search him up. Of course, this guy's a legend, absolute trading legend. Here's him. He streams his shit on Twitch. Not anymore because he's pretty much out of the markets and doing whatever he wants to now. But back in COVID, when he traded all the time, Qualamagi was a streamer, and he made millions of dollars, and basically shared all his opinions with people and his trading strategies live time, guys. Go back and learn from him. I sure as hell do, because this guy's forgotten more about trading than I've even learned in my 6 years. Absolute legend. His trading system is to trade flag breakouts and momentum stocks. He likes to trade them when the broad market's in a trending phase, when the 20 EMA is above the 50 and we're rising like we are here. That's when these breakup setups work better than others. But yeah, that's a mentor from me, and that's his trading strategy. I like the look of DDD. I just like the tight range we put in here, how we've kind of undercut the 50-day and completely reclaimed it with a strong move in the last 3 days. And I'll just have to see how this breakout works over the next couple of days, whatever. If we are able to maybe have a pause day the next couple of days, tomorrow, Friday, maybe we chill out, put in a small range day, and then potentially go for a big break and try this 360. So that's my game plan with DDD. Again, risk is low of day from yesterday. Position sizing is positioned accordingly to take an L if that is to happen. That's all I got for you guys today. I put up this NVDA chart because, well, one, it kind of mimics DDD here. Obviously with DDD being a stronger momentum play, it's higher in the range than NVIDIA is, kind of trading back here near this 20-day moving average. But also, guys, take a look here at NVIDIA and the strong move of the last 2 days. Now, in my opinion, this stock is crucial whether we break out of this range on SPY and QQQ, or if this is a complete fake out and we start to see some retracement. NVIDIA, in my opinion, is going to be a pretty large culprit in the price action here. And that's just because you're looking at a stock, guys, that's got a almost 5 trillion market cap. That's bigger than, any other stock in the market. You can't compare Apple. Apple's only like a two point market cap. Let's see. Well, Apple's 4.5, so it's close to NVIDIA, but NVIDIA still NVIDIA still takes the crown as far as market caps go in the market. This is another one that's kind of crazy. MU is now over $1 trillion in market cap. It's still only a quarter of the market cap of NVIDIA. So without this thing moving, there's no way the broad market gets to break out of this kind of flag that we're in right now. So was this a bull, a bull trap? Was this high? breaking above these recent highs, closing above the 20 EMA for the first time since here, closing above the 20 EMA 2 consecutive days for the first time since here, a little over a month. Was it a bull trap? Are we going to see this 50 EMA act as a resistance and this previous bear gap act as resistance to push us lower? If so, look for the market to definitely kind of pull back in the meantime. Try these lows again, potentially break down back into this range. There's no way SPY and QQQ trend and push to all-time highs if NVIDIA rejects this gap and this 50 EMA. But if it does trend here, if NVIDIA catches a little steam like it did here, or like it did here, and puts in a, you guys see how this thing can move, you know? It can go from 195 to 220 in the span of a week. If that stuff happens, hey, look out. SPY and QQQ could absolutely be right back at all-time highs, pushing through for more. So that's what I'm watching, guys, just so you know where my head's at. Pretty hands-off, but DDD did take a position today, and we'll just see if this breakout works or not. Peace, guys.